Welcome back, everybody. Sheepdog Smokey here, and thank you for joining in. This is kind of a continuation on Sunday morning's video. Sunday morning, I talked about the uh, basically the end times and how it's interesting to me that we have information today that was not available at the time the Revelation was written. That being knowing about the weapons we have, finding these underwater supervolcanoes and things like that. But one question that always comes to my mind is how is the rapture going to be explained by those left on Earth afterwards? I actually made a video and then decided not to post it. I don't think I posted it, about how someone is trying to compare Infinity War Endgame to Revelation prophecy. Basically, half of all life on Earth is gone, and basically putting Thanos and the Avengers and the others in the films into the scenarios. And it's really just transference. It's making two things work together that were not related in any way when they were written. But one key aspect when you look at Revelation prophecy, when you look at end times prophecy, that always is a large contention point is the rapture. Will the rapture even occur? Will it be before the tribulation, in the middle of it, or after? And everyone has their own thoughts on this subject, whether it be that no, everyone goes to the tribulation, or the body of Christ, the Christians on earth that are still alive are raptured before, at the 3.5 year point of the 7 year tribulation, or after. I'm not going to get into that aspect of this topic right now, because that's a video all unto itself to explain my point of view and to kind of talk about what I feel is going on with the other points of view. This one is really, we're going to go with the mindset that the rapture has occurred. And we're not going to talk about the when, but the rapture has occurred. So all Christians alive on earth at that time are just gone. And we've seen a lot of movies on this, from Left Behind to the multiple series on Pure Flix and other people who have talked about it and produced videos on it. But it's always kind of glossed over of the explanation of what happened and why and how it happened. So looking at this, what will happen in this scenario is a large percentage of people on the planet are just gone. Whether it be that they are just fully gone, or you find clothing lying on the streets and in cars and on planes and in offices, the people are gone. And one thing that will happen, or that will cause, is a panic, confusion. Where did they go? Could it happen again? What happened? The explanation has to be something that the remainder of people on Earth will accept, and will be able to accept in such a way that they move on with their lives. With what I was talking about earlier with Endgame, Infinity War, where half of life is gone, you see them moving on through therapy and being very upset, raising monuments and something like that, because the why and how is known. A giant purple guy appears, snaps his fingers, and people just turn to dust. Well, that's not this scenario. This scenario is it happened, but no one knows why, because in this scenario, all of the people, or at least the vast majority of them who had been exposed to anything that would speak of this, are gone. And the one thing I have kind of always come back to is one of two explanations from the governments left in power. Now, looking at the Revelation prophecy, there will be a very charismatic leader that rises to rule a one world government, a one world faith, and so on. But again, that's a video for another time. But the explanation, in my mind, will be one of two things. Option one will be some sort of attack, chemical, biological, nuclear, extraterrestrial, but an attack and it will be that those people were infected or genetically very, very different from all left behind. So they were vaporized. And it won't happen again because everyone who was like that is now gone. And it will be explained as, yes, this is a horrible thing and we miss those who are gone, but it can't happen again. You're safe. We're going to protect you. Option two is purely extraterrestrial, that beings from space, from another planet, abducted all of these people. And we've actually seen something like this. I forget the TV show or movie it was in, but the extraterrestrials actually showed up on Earth. It wasn't that people were gone. They showed up to take them in spacecraft. And they were looking for people with a certain amount of melatonin or melanin in their skin. So they were looking for skin tone. And again, that will be part of the explanation, is genetically all of these people had one trait in common, and that's why the aliens took them. And it won't happen again because that trait is now gone from the world. And whether it be that they say it was a mutation or it was a lack of a mutation that is needed to go forward, it will be still that same explanation of, you're safe, yes, we're sad that they're gone, but they're gone and we can't change it, and we're going to protect you now. And that's a very important aspect of this entire argument or discussion, is that they will gloss over what happened with, yes, it's a tragedy and they're gone and we're sad, but you're safe, move on with your life. They'll explain it away. And this is something that governments have done with the unexplainable for a long time. You look at 1947 in Roswell, New Mexico, it was a weather balloon. And there was some kind of atmospheric thing going on that made it look different. But no, it was just a weather balloon, just move on. Or Area 51 and the odd sightings and so on and so forth. I personally do not believe we've been visited by extraterrestrials because I just don't. But the explanation of, oh, it was just this very simple thing, don't worry about it, is a very common thread. And I don't like that. Because, for example, with Area 51, Nellis Air Force Base, Groom Lake Testing Grounds in Nevada, we know that in the 50s and 60s and 70s, and even on to this day, aircraft are tested there, and they are top secret. They are classified. The people working there are not allowed to talk about it. As with other defense industries, they are allowed later to talk about it. For example, the SR-71 Blackbird, the stealth. Anyone who worked on it while it was classified had to explain it away. Oh, well, no, it was just the atmosphere made the F-16 look weird or whatever. And now we know what it was because it's been declassified. So we know that it was a top secret project by the military to develop new ways of waging war. It just seems a bit lazy to me, honestly, because it is that aspect of, I'm in charge, just listen to me, just believe me, and move on with your life. There's also a good part of that. And it's good in that it is that we're in charge, you're safe. It's not good in a sense of that it's used as often as it is, but it's good for those using it because they know after all of the time of it was just a weather balloon and that was just atmospheric disturbance in Nevada that made an F-16 or an F-7, F-32 or F-15 or a C-130 look weird or whatever it may have been. They now believe, rightly, that they can give you any line of bull and you'll believe it. So, with following on the Revelation prophecy topic from yesterday, when the rapture occurs, and again, I fully believe it will be explained away. Whether it is some nation launched some odd attack that affected the entire planet and all of these people shared one genetic marker that is no longer here, so it can't happen again, you're safe. Or it was aliens, and they only took the people who had this one genetic common thing, and no one else has it anymore, so they won't come back. You're safe. Just go about your life. That is a key part of the last years, because to solidify a world government, a one world government, even though, yes, nations will still retain some level of autonomy, but not as they have it now. Think of it as basically the UN and the EU on steroids. It will no longer be the UN where they pass a resolution but countries may ignore it. It will be similar to the federal government and the United States individual state governments, where when this government passes a resolution or a law, the nations are then really just there to enforce it and to make it happen. And in order to solidify something like that, you have to gain trust, and you have to make it so that no one questions you. And this question that we're looking at today is the first one that will be tackled by this new leader. And he will explain it away in such flowery terms as if to say, while we're sad that people are gone, they didn't need to be here anyway. They were defective. So now the planet is better for it. Global warming will come into play. I don't know that they'll use it to explain the event, but it will come into play. And by come into play, I mean that after the explanation of these people were different and somehow needed to be gone for the planet to move on, they're going to move instantly to, now that we have so many fewer people, global warming will slow and we won't have the climate change issues that we've had. And we will be safer and more prosperous and more secure and healthier moving forward. It is scary as I'll get out to think of this happening and being here afterwards. Because in a time like that, with that tumultuous change to economies and everything else, I mean, you're going to be missing teachers and doctors, policemen, firefighters, government officials, mothers, fathers, brothers, students, lawyers, business leaders, retail workers, everyone. And it doesn't, there's no common thing other than faith. So they have to find a way to say, well, yeah, it's sad that your loved one is gone, but now the planet is better for it. And it really goes back to, don't let a crisis go to waste, because it will be a crisis, but it will be instantly used and twisted to solidify power. But I've talked on this long enough. Let me know what you think. Let me know what other options you think may be used in this scenario. Again, I'm not here to talk about pre-trib, post-trib, mid-trib. Not going to happen. That's a video for another time. This is simply looking at, it has happened. How will it be explained? And how will the world move after that? And I mean, it's a topic that's fascinated me for a long time. Anyway, thank you so much for joining in today. I do appreciate all of the comments and all of the interaction. Again, it helps me to learn, because I have to then think about something in a way that I've not thought about it. Make sure that you remain civil so that we can learn and grow from it. As always, please remember to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Share the video so that other people are brought into the discussion and we can continue to learn from each other. Until next time, everyone have a wonderful day.